Welcome to the Daily Globe. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. Tonight, we delve into a story of steel, ambition, and the shifting sands of global power. In a world where headlines are dominated by maritime tensions and naval standoffs, a quieter yet equally transformative revolution is taking place, one that is reshaping the very arteries of global commerce. While the world's gaze is often fixed on maritime disputes, a quiet revolution has been unfolding on the ground, across thousands of kilometers of railway track. These steel veins now pulse with the promise of new connections, linking distant economies and cultures in ways that were once thought impossible. This is more than a new train route, it's a bold move to forge new alliances and challenge the post-war order. The handshake at the station is more than ceremonial, it signals a shift in the balance of power, as nations look beyond traditional partners and seek new opportunities. The direct freight rail corridor between China and Iran, launched in May 2025, is a game-changer. It's not just a logistical achievement, but a symbol of determination to overcome barriers, both physical and political, that have long divided East and West. In just 15 days, the first train traveled over 10,000 kilometers from Xi'an to Tehran, bypassing Western-controlled trade routes. This journey, cutting their way through deserts, mountains, and borders, demonstrates the sheer scale and ambition of the project. This land bridge is designed to weaken the impact of sanctions and naval blockades, giving both nations new economic lifelines. By sidestepping choke points at sea, China and Iran are carving out a new path for trade, one that is less vulnerable to external pressures and disruptions. For businesses and policymakers worldwide, it forces a reassessment of trade, energy security, and the effectiveness of sanctions. The ripple effects are already being felt, as companies and governments scramble to adapt to this new reality and reconsider their strategies for the future. The lines being drawn today are not on military maps but on railway timetables and trade ledgers. This steel Silk Road may be one of the most significant of our time. As steel wheels turn and new routes open, the world is witnessing the birth of a new era in connectivity, commerce, and geopolitical influence. This monumental project is the result of years of strategic planning, shared ambition, and a vision that stretches far beyond national borders. It represents not just a feat of engineering, but a bold statement of intent by the countries involved, determined to reshape the economic and geopolitical landscape of Eurasia. At the heart of this transformation is China's Belt and Road Initiative, a sweeping infrastructure and investment program that seeks to resurrect the legendary Silk Road for the 21st century. The BRI is more than a network of railways and ports. It's a blueprint for global connectivity, linking continents and forging new economic alliances. Iran, uniquely positioned at the crossroads of Eurasia, officially joined the BRI in 2019. For Iran, participation in this initiative is not just about economic opportunity, it's a strategic response to years of relentless US-led sanctions that have isolated its economy and limited its global reach. The pivot to the East doctrine, announced by Supreme Leader Khamenei, marked a decisive shift in Iran's foreign policy. Turning away from the West, Iran has sought to build robust partnerships with China and Russia, aiming to secure its interests and assert its independence on the world stage. In 2021, this new direction was cemented when China and Iran signed a landmark 25-year, $400 billion strategic cooperation agreement. At the heart of this deal is the rail link, a vital artery designed to facilitate trade, investment, and energy flows between the two nations. Constructed amid escalating US sanctions and ongoing regional instability, the railway stands as a symbol of resilience. For China, it guarantees secure and reliable energy imports, bypassing vulnerable maritime choke points and reducing exposure to external pressures. For Iran, the railway offers a lifeline, a sanctions-resistant trade route that opens new markets and strengthens its economic sovereignty, even as external pressures mount. The Overland Corridor is not just an economic project, it's a strategic imperative for both nations, reshaping regional dynamics and offering a new model for cooperation in a rapidly changing world. Ultimately, this railway is the spine of a partnership designed to build resilience, foster autonomy, and create new opportunities in a fractured and uncertain global landscape. May 2021, May 2019, E512. Marked a turning point as the first dedicated freight train left Xi'an for Tehran, crossing Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan. This was more than a delivery, it was a proof of concept for a new Eurasian trade artery. Just before launch, officials from 6 nations met in Tehran to unify tariffs, streamline customs, and coordinate operations, transforming disparate railways into a single corridor. The train's arrival in Tehran was celebrated as a strategic victory against isolation. The symbolism was clear: this was not just cargo, but a new economic reality. Chinese goods, electronics, machinery flow in, Iranian petrochemicals and oil flow out. This two-way trade cements the 25-year agreement, giving China vital resources and Iran hard currency. The train's journey didn't just cross land, it crossed a geopolitical Rubicon. The new rail corridor dramatically reduces the transit time for goods traveling between China and Iran. Previously, shipping by sea could take as long as 40 days, with vessels navigating long, circuitous routes and facing potential delays at congested ports or through maritime choke points. Now, with this overland rail link, the journey is cut down to just 15 days. This remarkable increase in speed means that companies can move products more quickly, reducing inventory costs and freeing up capital that would otherwise be tied up in transit. Faster delivery times also make supply chains more agile and responsive to market changes. For businesses dealing in high-value or time-sensitive goods, such as electronics, machinery, or perishable items, the reliability and predictability of rail transport can be a game-changer. While sea freight may still offer lower costs for bulk shipments, the security and consistency of overland rail often outweigh the price difference, especially when timing is critical. Overland transport also provides a strategic advantage by shielding trade from Western naval power, as the entire route passes exclusively through allied or neutral countries. Unlike ships at sea, trains on sovereign land are far less vulnerable to foreign intervention. The US Navy, for example, cannot interdict a train moving across the heart of Eurasia, making it much more difficult to enforce sanctions or disrupt trade flows. This added layer of security is crucial for countries seeking to maintain stable economic ties, despite geopolitical tensions. Early data already shows a steady rise in trade volumes along this corridor, with ambitious plans to run multiple weekly trains by 2026. The route is quickly becoming a backbone for regional commerce, moving Chinese equipment and technology to Iran, and transporting Iranian minerals and resources back to China. This two-way flow is fostering a resilient economic ecosystem, strengthening industrial cooperation and deepening interdependence between the two nations. The railway is already reshaping trade patterns, reducing vulnerability to external shocks, and setting the stage for a new era of Eurasian connectivity and economic growth. For Iran, this rail corridor is a strategic lifeline, breaking the economic stranglehold of Western sanctions. It ensures steady imports and exports, stabilizing Iran's economy and countering the maximum pressure campaign. The project cements Iran's pivot to the east, shifting its economic focus from the Persian Gulf to Eurasia. Years of failed negotiations with the West have pushed Iran to embrace China and the Belt and Road. The benefits for ordinary Iranians could be profound: more goods, jobs, and hope for economic recovery. Chinese investment is modernizing Iran's industry and infrastructure, promising tangible improvements in living standards. Regionally, Iran is now a key node in Eurasian trade, no longer just a Middle Eastern power. For China, the Iran rail corridor is a masterstroke in geoeconomic strategy. It solves the Malacca dilemma by providing a secure land-based route for vital oil imports, bypassing US-controlled choke points. The corridor is a flagship Belt and Road project, proving the BRI can deliver real economic value and regional cooperation. With Western firms absent, Chinese companies dominate the Iranian market, trading goods for oil-backed credits in a closed-loop system. This model, insulated from the US dollar, is one China aims to replicate elsewhere. The project also boosts China's diplomatic influence, positioning it as a power broker in the Middle East. The railway is a symbol of China's commitment, projecting power through trade, not military might. It's a new paradigm, building influence, one freight train at a time. The China-Iran rail corridor is a blow to Western, especially American foreign policy. For decades, sanctions and control of global finance were the West's main levers over Iran. Now, a robust trade channel operates entirely outside Western control, forcing a rethink of economic warfare. The rail link is part of a broader trend, the rise of multipolar systems and alternative institutions like BRICS and the SCO. These are not just symbolic, they're eroding the foundations of Western leverage. With sanctions less effective, the West faces a choice: escalate confrontation or adapt to a new reality. For Europe, the corridor offers both opportunity and dilemma. Faster trade with China, but at the risk of transatlantic unity. The train from Xi'an to Tehran is forcing everyone to choose a side. Experts see the new rail link as a genuine game-changer. Analyst Emil Avdaliani calls it a shift to a non-Western-centric model of globalization, with Iran as a vital transit hub. Regional officials echo this, aiming to make Eurasia a crossroads of international transit, open for business, on its own terms. Western officials admit their traditional tools, sanctions and financial isolation, are ill-suited to counter land-based, non-dollar trade. The business community is pragmatic. A 15-day transit to the Middle East is a huge advantage, and the network is expanding. If the corridor connects to Turkey and Europe, it will be impossible for major logistics providers to ignore. Economic gravity may ultimately override political alignments. The commercial logic is undeniable. This railway is more than infrastructure. It's the physical manifestation of a new world order. The 2,400-kilometer line from Xi'an to Tehran signals a pivot from a maritime Western-dominated system to a multipolar land-based future. For Iran, it's an economic lifeline. For China, a strategic victory. For the West, a moment of reckoning. The era of isolating nations through sanctions is ending. The train has quite literally left the station. This raises profound questions. Will the West adapt or double down? Can sanctions remain effective? The answers are being written by the wheels turning across Central Asia, not in policy papers. The world is being rewired, and this Steel Silk Road is one of its most important new circuits. I'm Christiana Manpour in London. Thank you for watching.